Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon, or good morning, depending on when you're seeing this. This is our Celtic Night concert here at Traditions Week 2, Common Ground on the Hill, the Folk Life Center for Central Maryland, here on the campus of McDaniel College. And we're very excited to have you here with us this evening. And remember, of course, that if you see this evening, you can also see it tomorrow or any other time on our Common Ground on the Hill official YouTube channel. Be sure to tell your friends. And, think about, instead of looking on your computer or your phone, put this up on the big screen, turn the sound up, get some popcorn, your favorite beverage, and listen to the music. All of our concerts are archived, and we're very excited to have this concert this evening. Our evening concerts during Traditions Week feature instructors who are teaching with us during that week. It's a chance for the students to see them as they really are, which is, fine musicians, not just teachers. And that's especially true in the folk and traditional music world. Not always so in the classic world, where teachers maybe focus entirely on teaching. Folk musicians, traditional musicians, oftentimes come to the teaching point in their career after they've spent a lot of time learning this great music from the oral tradition. Tonight is Celtic Night, and we're going to start off with the person who has been with us for a number of years, leading our harp department, or clarinet department. Joe Morrison lives in nearby New Windsor, Maryland, but let's just say she is a world citizen. She's played all over Europe and especially in Scotland. She's done her homework big time, and she brings to us a number of great players every year, great players and instructors. So we're very lucky to have Joe Morrison on our staff and on our stages. Make welcome Joe Morrison.
Thank you, Walt. It's a pleasure to be here. I always look forward to Common Ground on the Hill and enjoy every moment of it, even though I'm often exhausted in the process. And so I thought I'd play you a couple of Scottish tunes to start. So that was a March Trespe reel set, which is common in Scotland. The first one was Arthur Bignall of Loch Rosk. The second one is The Drunken Piper, and the last one is called The Nutwood. Next I'm going to play for you a Robert Burns song, which is also an older tune, and this one I think of it as the song O'er the Airts, as in all of the directions on the compass. And the lyrics talk about, of all the places in the world he wants to love, he loves the West the best, because that's where his love is. Yeah, wrong key. Set up the second key. Sorry about that. Fun thing about harp, you have to set it right or it's all wrong. The next thing I'm going to play is going to be joined by my husband Wayne on concertina, and you can't see him because we're going to have to be in different rooms for you to hear me well. But this tune is from Galicia, which is the Celtic region in Spain. And setting my levers here, hopefully to get it right. This is called O Som do Ar, or the sound of the air. So it's about a nice windy day. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here at Common Ground.
Thank you, Joe and Wayne. Wonderful music as always. And I was thinking about the Robert Burns song, about how he wanted to be in the West because his true love was in the West. But a little bit of factual information about Robert Burns. He died at the age of 37. He had 12 children by 4 women, and there are projected to be 900 living descendants of Robert Burns. So he's the interesting thing about Robert Burns is that he was renowned in his time. So many of the great musicians and bards, and poets especially, end up being not so revered in their time, but they come into their own after they've left the planet. But Robert Burns was revered in his time as the poet of Scotland. And what some folks may not know is that he purposely wrote poetry to help save melodies that were on their way out. He came of age as the Industrial Revolution was starting to hit and things were changing drastically. He wanted to make sure that the music was saved. So he was, he doesn't get the kind of credit he should get in English departments everywhere. He definitely was a living bard. His music and poetry is alive today. So that was great. And I should let you know that Joe is teaching next week in person, Toe Tapping Celtic Tunes 2 and Intro to Celtic Harp. And if you ever wanted to learn the Celtic harp, we have harp rentals for you. So it's not too late to sign up for classes. Just go to commongroundonthehill.org and you can become a harper as well. Same's true with hammer dulcimer. We have rentals for hammer dulcimer, and we can supply you with just about every other instrument that's on our list. So come on out to Common Ground on the Hill Traditions Week 3 in person on the campus of McDaniel College. We're now going to go to Pete Clark. Pete Clark is an amazing fiddler. He's also a biology teacher. He's retired from that. He's also a wonderful visual artist, painter. He lives in Highland, Perthshire, not far from where the great Scottish fiddler Neil Gow lived almost 3 centuries ago. A former tutor at the Royal Conservatory of Scotland in Glasgow, Pete continues to compose, record, and to teach privately. Performances have been few and far between because of COVID, but he has kept up a large music from the shed series of broadcasts. And go to his website and check him out. Pete is just wonderful. We're so lucky to have him. I first met him at Common Ground Scotland, and Pete Haywood brought Pete to the event. And I'll never forget that first concert that I heard. I was in Glasgow, and we shared the bill with him, and I was just blown away with what an amazing fiddler he is. He directs his own fiddle courses in Burnham, coaches and conducts the Dunkeld and District Strathspey and Reel Society, and is founder and director of the Neil Gow Festival. That's a big deal. Neil Gow was the preeminent Scottish fiddler who really wrote the book. And Pete actually can get his hands on Neil Gow's fiddle. He's a regular contributor to the quarterly Fiddler magazine and guest lecturer on the fiddle music of Scotland at the University of St. Andrews. He's previously performed and taught in Canada and the US with us and a number of other wonderful venues. And he's adjudicated at various fiddle competitions over the years. He's also a great trout fisherman. I've seen it, and one of the things on my bucket list is to visit him and go and catch some trout up in the Highlands, or trout as they are called in Scotland. So make welcome Pete, who is teaching Scottish fiddle, Pete Clark.
Hello and welcome to the shed. My name is Pete Clark, and this is my contribution for this year's Common Ground concert. I'm sorry that I can't be there in person, but maybe next year. We were going to film today just 10 minutes walk from here by the River Tummel. There's a rather nice view which we were going to show you live, but the weather isn't on our side today, so you'll have to make do with a painting of it. That's the River Tummel, and the mountain you see in the distance is Ben Vraki, which looms over the highland town of Pitlochry. I'm going to play a selection of tunes today. A fortnight ago I spent a week on a small island in the Firth of Forth, which is that stretch of water between Edinburgh and the Lothians and the county of Fife, or the kingdom of Fife as it is rightly known. I was on the island to basically watch birds and paint them. It was a great trip. I did actually write a wee tune when I was there, but before I play that, here's an old tune by a man called James Oswald, simply called The Banks of Forth. The Banks of Forth by James Oswald. He lived in the early part of the 18th century. Much more recently, we had a chap called Jock Ritchie who came from Falkirk, the town of Falkirk, but he was a town officer in Inverkeithing in Fife, and he wrote some fine tunes. I'll play three of those now: A March, a Strathspey and a Reel. The Kingdom of Fife, the New Brig, which he composed for the opening of the Forth Road Bridge in 1964, and in the middle we've got Inverkeithing Bay, a Strathspey. And the wee black dog that you see popping in from time to time, you think he's popped out just now, he's called Logie and he's a Cocker Spaniel. So tunes by Jock Ritchie. tunes by Jock Ritchie of Fife. So I mentioned I was on the Isle of May painting and watching birds. It's got a huge population of puffins, sometimes referred to as sea parrots because of their striking plumage and their brightly coloured bills. Thousands of puffins and other seabirds, especially of the auk family, guillemots and razorbills, kittiwakes and various gulls, especially lesser blackbacks and herring gulls. So I'll play a tune I composed in the main lighthouse on the Isle of May, and my able assistant and wife Teresa, she's going to show you some of the results, the fruits of my labours. That little lighthouse there was actually our accommodation during the week. I was sharing it with 4 fabulous artists, so it was an inspirational week. And in the lighthouse column on the main light, I messed about with my fiddle in the fabulous acoustic and came up with a wee tune, which is yet it's untitled, but here we go, a wee world premiere. Three tunes from Kerr's collection. Those were 3 of the earliest reels I learned. The first one was the East Neuk of Fife. Neuk is a Scottish word, it means a corner. And looking from the Isle of May, you can see the East Neuk of Fife. To get there, you take a boat out of the coastal fishing village of Anstruther, Ainster as it's called locally. The second reel was Bottom of the Punch Bowl, and the third one is a reel very popular in North America called The Soldier's Joy. So that's a short but sweet contribution to the concert. I'd like to thank Walt and Maria and everyone involved with the organising of Common Ground, and it's always nice to be asked to be part of it, and one day we'll be part of it again in person. Thanks to Teresa for doing the filming. Thanks to Logie for the various percussive sounds on assorted pieces of wood. And I'm going to finish with a tune which we finished a concert with last month. We performed, when I say we, the Strathspey Real Society, performed a concert for a good cause, the current conflict in the Ukraine. It was Dunkeld District Strathspey Real Society combined with a small group of enthusiastic musicians called Mid Athol Strings. And as a backdrop, there's a painting I did here in January. It's a view looking west along Loch Tay, and it was a sunset at that time of year happens between 3 and 4 p.m, about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and it was quite a dramatic sunset. But coincidentally, as you can see, the sky shows the colours of the Ukraine flag, the blue and the yellow. But in this painting, just as it was, there was an ominous grey cloud approaching from the east. And well, I didn't know it, but a month later, Russia would invade Ukraine, and we're left with this tragic situation, which is still ongoing. So I'd like to finish this wee performance with the Ukrainian national anthem. And thanks again, everyone. Hope you're all well. Hope you're avoiding COVID. Teresa and I have both had it, but are now recovered. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the concert.
Thank you so much, Pete. And thanks for that reminder as we celebrate all this wonderful music and see your great pictures of the Highlands, your paintings, and this wonderful music that takes us back. At our peril, we forget what's going on in Ukraine and the way the world is acting. It's high time that we started being the human beings that we are capable of being. And I'm sure that it feels, you're not that far from Ukraine. You're certainly closer to it than we are. So thank you for that reminder. And wonderful to know that Teresa was in the room. Teresa is a wonderful photographer. I enjoy her pictures that I see on Facebook quite often. There's so many wonderful photographs of the Highlands. If you haven't been to Scotland, you owe it yourself to make that trip. It's an amazing place, just an amazing place. I should also like to remind you that please go up on the websites of our instructors, performers here tonight, and purchase their recordings. This is the way they put food on the table. And these are tough times for performers. We can't go out and do the concerts that we had hoped that we could keep doing throughout our years. So your gifts mean an awful lot. Thank you, Pete Clark, all the way from Scotland. Now from Scotland again, but more from the Glasgow region, we welcome Rachel Hare. Rachel and her musical partner, Ron Jappi, came and played for us in March and did our first live concert since the pandemic began. It was wonderful to have them here. They played at St. Paul's UCC. It was just a beautiful concert. Rachel is teaching this week, virtually, Islands of the North and Pipe Down with the Harp, 2 harp classes. Let me tell you about Rachel. Rachel Hare from the Scottish Highland village of Ullapool is regarded as one of Scotland's finest performers and teachers of the Scottish harp, the classic. She regularly tours worldwide and simply loves sharing her passion for Scottish traditional music wherever she goes. Rachel has released 5 critically acclaimed albums and published several books of both Scottish harp music and music from the Isle of Man, the smallest of the Celtic nations that she visits once a month to teach harp. BBC Radio, too, calls her a superb Highland harper. So make welcome all the way from Scotland, Rachel Hare.
Hello everyone, Rachel Hare here in, well, not so much a sunny Scotland, but more of a grey Glasgow. I'm here in the fantastic city of Glasgow in Scotland, and I'll play you a few tunes on the harp. This is my 4th year teaching at Common Ground on the Hill, and it's fantastic to be back with you all again. I've had 1 year in person, 2 online, and this is my 3rd online. But you know, I'm really chuffed for you that you're going for the whole hybrid festival, doing both online and in person, just meaning there's an option for everyone, making it accessible to all, which really is just so important right now. So huge thank you to Walt, Maria and Matt and everybody. You're doing a great job, and it was wonderful as well actually to catch up with you back in March when we were out on tour in the US. But here I am in my wee spare room in my apartment here in Glasgow in my tenement flat, and I've been teaching 2 courses for you all this week. First one, Pipe Down with the Harp, which is tunes from the pipes on the harp, so one of the world's loudest instruments on one of the world's quietest instruments. And also tunes from the north, so that's melodies from the Northern Isles of Scotland, from the Orkney Isles and from the Shetland Islands. And I felt it only right to play you a tune from Shetland tonight. I might have played this for you before at Common Ground. It's a beautiful slow air, a listening tune as they would call it in Shetland, called The Day Dawn. And it's said that this tune would be played on New Year's morning, as the dawn was breaking, the sun was rising on the new day and on the new year. So it's a haunting tune, but one that I think provides a little bit of hope. And after that, I'm going to go into a lovely waltz called Gillian's Waltz, written by Gordon Gunn, a fantastic fiddle player from Wick, also in the north of Scotland. So this is The Day Dawn and Gillian's. thinking during that what to play, my mind was wandering a bit. Actually, I must put in a wee word of thanks to the local bird population. The seagulls started squawking in the middle of that. Just they were helping add in the atmosphere, making you think that you were with the seabirds in the Shetland Isles. Alas, the Glasgow seagulls are not quite as yeah. You don't really want to encounter the Glasgow seagulls. It is nesting season just now, and yeah, they're all about us, and they're kind of dive bombing people just now. So yeah, wee bit of action there for you. So as I said, the other course that I'm teaching is called Pipe Down with the Harp, and in this course we've been learning tunes related to pipe repertoire. So not only tunes from Scotland actually, but tunes in the Northumbrian pipes, the Galician gaita, the Breton bombard, but of course we have also been doing the Scottish Highland bagpipes. And I'm going to play you a couple of tunes now, some slip jigs. First one is very much a pipe tune. It's from the Gun Collection, and it's called The Three Good Fellas. It's a proper kind of mixolydian, double tonic, Scottish sounding tune. So I'm going to play that for you. In fact, no, that's going to be the second tune. First tune, very important one. It's called Hro mo Vochen Dram, which means, translated from Scottish Gaelic, Hro, my favourite dram. So if you have a favourite dram of whiskey, this is for you. Tune, a proper tune about whiskey. So Hro mo Vochen Dram, and then The Three Good Fellas, and then maybe back into Hro mo Vochen Dram. We'll see what happens. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and it's been a pleasure to be with you all. Hopefully I'll see you in person over the next year again. We're planning on returning back to the US on tour next year. So, take care. And these are the slip jigs.
myself. Always forget to unmute myself. Thank you, Rachel. That was just wonderful. It's so transporting to hear you play. It's like you're part of that instrument. And we do hope you'll be traversing the pond next year and you'll be able to be with us in person. Speaking of in person, I wanted to show you this. You can find this online, but well, I guess it's not this coming Saturday, right? It's next Saturday, July 16th. We have two festivals rolled into one, the Deer Creek Fiddlers Convention, right? Deer Creek Fiddlers Convention with prizes galore, and our Roots Music and Arts Festival, all on the campus of McDaniel College, starting at 9 in the morning and running till 10:30 at night. Rain or shine, we're air conditioned if need be. We're out in the beautiful environment if that holds. You won't be rained on, even if it rains. So come to the festival. In fact, we really need you to come to the festival. What we're seeing across the board in talking to other venues is that the people are lucky to have about 60% of what you would normally have. And we decided at Common Ground on the Hill that we were going to make a commitment to having a great live event once again. Come rain or snow, sleet or hail, heat or no. And it will be a safe event. Everyone must show that they've been vaccinated, and all indoor activity will be masked. And we intend to have a successful time. So put that on your calendar, July 16th, that's Saturday, on the campus of McDaniel College. It's all on campus. Meanwhile, it's not too late to sign up for classes in week 3 in person. We've got wonderful classes in art. We have wonderful classes in music, in technology, dance, writing, storytelling. So let us help you find and discover the artist within you and come and hang out with us on the campus of McDaniel College. You can commute, you can stay on campus. We have plenty of room, plenty of spaces left. So we hope we hear from you. And you can do all this online, registering at commongroundonthehill.org. If you're seeing this after the festival, well, it would be too late, but we'd want you for next year and for all of our upcoming concerts throughout the year. Our next performer, can you believe this, was at the original Common Ground on the Hill Traditions Weeks in 1995 and has been with us a number of times since. Brian Connolly is just a great musician from Northern Ireland, from Belfast. I met him years ago, way before Common Ground on the Hill Traditions Weeks, in Belfast, with his wonderful group, Críomh Ruaidhre. Brian has led that group all these years. There's been, a fair amount of turnover in personnel, but it's not like it's a revolving door. It's always a consummate, great, tight group playing great Irish music. And for those of you who have attempted to play Irish traditional music, it's not easy. It's so nuanced, and it's athletic. It's beautiful. It's joyous. It's just great. Let me tell you a little bit about Brian Connolly. He is from Belfast and was taught the mandolin by his grandfather and then started playing the banjo, the 4-string tenor banjo. His main influences include Barney McKenna of the Dubliners, the Chieftains, the Bothy Band, and Planxty. He played with several groups while at school and began playing at sessions. He founded the original Críomh Ruaidhre, pronounced Críomh Ruaidhre, in the mid-'80s, and remains the driving force behind the band today. As well as touring with Críomh Ruaidhre, he teaches banjo and mandolin and has published a banjo tutor book, Play Tunes on the Irish Tenor Banjo Introductory Repertoire. He's been teaching tenor banjo with us this week online, and he has a nice full class, and he's an excellent teacher and just a great human being. Make welcome all the way from Belfast, Brian Connolly. Oh, man, what a band. What a band. What a band Brian has put together. Oh, incredible. And I'm assuming that this was recorded once the pandemic restrictions were lifted a bit so you all could sit and play. What a great band, man. I'm just blown away here. It's wonderful, Brian, to see you playing with a fellow banjoist there and just nailing it. You guys, what a great band. I can't say it enough. I can't wait till we see you in person again. And I'm hoping that I get to head over to Scotland and Northern Ireland soon to see all my old pals. What a night of music. Celtic night. Tomorrow night, we have International Night with Nicholas Carter from Paraguay, an amazing harp player. You won't believe this music. It's from a totally different tradition, and he's just fantastic. Dave Essig from Canada, one of Canada's premier singer-songwriters and instrumentalists. I've known Dave for years. It's going to be wonderful to see him be in his midst, even though it's going to be virtual. Can't wait to see Dave Essig. And then Bob Ryschlik, who's originally from the Czech Republic. He lives in Maryland now and has for a number of years. He had a hero's journey in escaping the Iron Curtain in his day and raising his family here. And he plays the Fujura, the amazing, I think, 7-foot. Well, I guess you'd call it a whistle. No, it's a flute. It's a flute. It's an amazing instrument. You have to see this. I'm so excited to see Nicholas Carter, Dave Essig, and Bob Ryschlik tomorrow evening. So put that on your list for tomorrow night at 8:00, or at least be aware of it, because all of our concerts are archived on the Common Ground on the Hill official YouTube channel, which is where you're seeing this now. So again, put it on the big screen. Our thanks, especially to Jack Bez tonight. Thank you so much, Jack, for your wonderful engineering skills and keeping us going. And of course, Maria Wong, for keeping everybody on the right path. Matt Vinson, and we're all just keying up for week 3 now. We can't wait for that to happen. Common Ground on the Town on Saturday evening from 5 to 7 will feature Harry Orlove playing jazz guitar at the Carroll County Arts Council Theater, the Carroll Arts Center, right on Main Street, 97 West Main Street in Westminster. And there will be a wonderful wine tasting led by Bernie from Genie Birds. So come on out and help us kick off the in-person part of Common Ground on the Hill Traditions Weeks. We'll see you around, and we hope we see you on the campus.